Welcome to the
New York City.
Pinstripe Territory.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. The ALCS is set. The Yankees will be taking on the Cleveland Guardians, and the winner will go to the World Series. Joining me tonight to talk about it is Dellin Betances, former Yankees closer and a member of the 2017 team that defeated a very, very good Cleveland team. How you doing, Dellin?
Good. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. Obviously, it's a great time to be in New York. New York sports and it's very vibrant right now. Obviously, with the Mets and Yankees being in, the Knicks also about to start their season. So it's a good time to be a sports fan in general, especially here in NY.
Knicks are looking good, man. I'm starting to get more into them as they're getting better and better. You know, they kind of stunk there for a bit, but I've been watching more basketball. I'm psyched. I would have preferred the Tigers, I think, in the ALCS, but the Yankees can beat the Guardians. They won 4 out of 6 against the Guardians this season. They have a well-rested bullpen. Looks like a couple of guys are heating up. You know, Volpe was hitting the ball hard. Judge started to have better swings. If the Yankees do win, they will advance to the World Series for the first time since 2009. How you feeling about the series, man?
I like it. You know, to be honest with you, I felt like either matchup would have been fine. Obviously, Scooble would have missed the first 2 games of the series, which would have been favorites for the Yankees. That would have helped the Yankees. And then, with Cleveland, this year I think we took 4 out of 6 pretty easily through in the season. There was the 2 games that Cleveland won were close games, but the other 4 the Yankees won pretty good. And I feel good. I feel like the Yankees have a better rotation than them. Their bullpen's been excellent during the postseason, which is good to watch. And for me, Cleveland is a team that relies on their bullpen, as you've seen in this past series. I don't think any of their starters went 5 innings, right? And a lot of times in a longer series, your bullpen gets exposed a little more. So I would like to see how Stephen Vogt kind of handles the starters in that series.
Yeah, first-year manager, right? This is it's an impressive performance by him. And the Yankees and the Guardians were kind of battling it out for the best record in the American League. So it should be a great series. If the Yankees do win, they'll play either the Dodgers or the Mets in the World Series, which either one of those matchups would be amazing, quite frankly, for ratings and just for excitement around the city. Are you rooting for a Subway Series, or would you rather see the Dodgers knock off the Mets?
Give me the Subway Series, baby.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
go. As a New Yorker, you would love that, man. I mean, I grew up watching the Subway Series as a kid. I played in it. There's nothing more exciting to see, especially growing up here, seeing both rivals play in the World Series. It hasn't happened since 2000, so why not? I'm rooting for that.
Were you around in the city in 2000? Are you old enough to remember that Subway Series well?
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, I was in middle school at the time. Of course, I remember that. I mean, that was a great. I grew up a Yankee fan, so we came up on the good side there. So yeah, it was definitely exciting, and I think the fans, they want that. It makes it for a good content. A lot of trash talking between fans, and so I can't wait. I'm hoping that's the case.
Gabe says, we got a Yankee GOAT on screen, one of the best ever to do it. I was mentioning before we went live that I saw every pitch that you threw for the Yankees in your career, because I haven't missed a game probably 25 years. And I saw even the first few in Tampa that were kind of rough, kind of out of the strike zone a little bit there. Yeah. But yeah, oops, I messed up the camera here. But you finished strong and had a great Yankees career. Let's talk a little bit about Aaron Judge, because he kind of had a tough ALDS. He's had a tough playoffs in general for the last few years, but he came up huge in both 2017 and 2018 when you played with him in the playoffs. So this isn't something where he can't hit in the playoffs. He just hasn't hit much lately in the playoffs. In 2018 against Boston, he went 6 for 16, which is .375. He hit 2 home runs, only struck out twice. He got off to a tough start in the ALDS, but he hit the ball hard in Game 3. He had that 114-mile-an-hour line drive that Bobby Witt Jr. snagged. And then in Game 4, he ripped one 115.5 into the left field gap. He walked more in the last 2 games, so I felt like he was getting more comfortable taking pitches out of the strike zone and things like that. Dellin, I just feel like AJ is about to break out. Do you concur?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the track record speaks for itself. I would take that anytime. Obviously, the longer the series went, the better I felt with Aaron Judge. And he's shown that. The last couple games, he's taking great at bats, like you said. He's hitting the ball hard. There's a couple pitches he's missed, but he's right there. I feel like he's right in groove, and then just in time for the CS, man. I'm sure he'll come through, come clutch as usual, as he usually does. So I'm kind of excited to see him this next series.
The fans were kind of sprinkling in some boos there in that second game against the Royals. Not something I expected given how accomplished he is. I'm sure there were some times throughout your Yankees career where the fans were a little bit tough on you. How do you react to that? Does the fan anxiety about the performance make it worse? Does it add to the pressure? Or is it just something where you just block it out and just do your job?
Listen, if they boo the best of the best, right? So if for whatever reason they're booing you, I don't take no harm to it, to be honest with you. Listen, we want to perform at our best. And sometimes, the fans expect you to be great every time, and I understand that. And Judge understands it himself. He got booed early in the year, and the guy hit 325 with 58. He's gonna come out of what he had. I feel like the last 2 games, he's kind of already out of it, right? So that'll lead into good for the next series. But the fans expect you to perform at the highest level every time out, and as players, we try to do that. So we understand the boos. It's like 11 hate, right, in New York, and when everything is great, you kind of the king of the city, right? And there's times that they'll let you have it when things aren't going well. It's just a part of being in Yankees. They expect you to win, and they expect the best from you.
If you were facing Aaron Judge right now, how would you work him? A guy that kind of power.
Honestly, I'm trying to make him hit my pitch. And that's what I seen KC was doing a lot. They were just, they're making good pitches on him. Even behind counts, I'm not going to just give in, right? Like, I'm going to try to make the best pitch I can. But, be interesting to see. I feel like I think I will move Big G behind Judge. That's just me. Like, that's what I would do.
Huh. He's been swinging back good. Yeah.
Yeah, I call him Playoff G, right? So I'll put him to clean up. That'll give pitchers will have to pitch more to Judge if Giancarlo's is behind him. Obviously, I like Wells from the left side, but Big G has done damage for a while, especially in the playoffs. He's with the Yankees, so I feel like just give more protection to Judge.
Definitely against the left-handed starting pitchers, at least. You got to get Big G in there in the cleanup spot. The way he's swinging the bat, he's clutch for. I mean, there's been this debate.
Lefty, righty, just put Big G in the fourth spot. This guy's been clutch for the Yankees. The last couple playoffs, he's been one of the best hitters. You see the numbers there. I'll put him to clean up. That's just me, but we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the starting pitching as we head into this series. Garrett Cole lined up to pitch on normal rest in Game 2, which is great. And the Yankees have already said that it'll be between Clarke Schmidt or Carlos Rodon in Game 1. I know you're a fan, but you're also somebody who played the game and watches with a keen eye. Any thoughts on who you would go with in a Game 1? Clarke Schmidt, I should mention, pretty much always he'll keep you in the game, whether it's like 5 innings or whatever, 2 runs. That seems about his thing. But Rodon could give you 7 innings of shutout baseball if he's on, but he also could implode in 2 or 3 innings, which we've seen a few times. Who would you feel more comfortable with in Game 1?
Honestly, I would feel comfortable with either starter, to be honest with you. If I'm the Yankees, I'll give the ball to Rodon, just give him Game 1. I feel like he will. I mean, when you seen him last game, he came out electric, then kind of, made a couple mistakes there. But I'll give him the ball. Like, guy won over 15 games this year. He has the chance to shut that lineup down, and you hope. Obviously, Scooble lefty dominated Cleveland for the most part. They got him today, but you will hope that Rodon kind of has some success like Scooble. Obviously, Scooble Cy Young, but I will give it to Rodon, and Clark Smith will pitch Game 3, and then that'll be good.
I felt like when Rodon pitched in game 2, he came out so strong that he was almost too strong. Is that a thing, like, where you can just expend sort of that adrenaline and just sort of zap yourself, once you get a little bit deeper into the game because you went too hard too early?
Yeah, sometimes you want to save that energy for big moments in a game, and I felt like, that first inning, obviously you want to start off hot, but you don't want to exhaust your energy right away, right? Like, I think he was kind of like he's feeling himself. The stuff was electric. I'm not gonna lie. I watched that game over and over, and his stuff was coming out pretty good. It's just sometimes you got to kind of take things a little easier, and then later in the game, if that big moment comes, then you can let it all out, and that's the way I see it.
So we have some comments in the chat about Luis Heel. I'm a big fan of Luis Heel. I call him the real deal. What have you seen from Luis Heel this year in his first full season? And do you think he should get a playoff start? I think he's probably going to pitch Game 4 would be my guess. And do you think the rest would bother him? Like, he hasn't pitched in a while. So just your thoughts on Luis Heel and all that.
I'm sure the Yankees have pitched him in like a simulated game, whether it's behind the scenes that nobody knows about. So they're definitely trying to keep his arm active. It's not like he's just resting all these days. And I'll probably give him Game 4, to be honest with you. He'll probably win Rookie of the Year this year. And he's done a tremendous job all year. He's just right now going into the playoffs. He's their fourth guy, right? So I think that's the way they'll see it. And, he'll probably pitch Game 4.
So we got a comment here. Somebody says, Killer B. Do you remember the Killer Bees, who the other two were?
Yeah, Brackman and Banuelos. Remember, Brackman was 6'11", played basketball at NC State, and then Banuelos, you guys know because he came back to the Yankees as well.
Yeah, yep. I remember Brackman. I think he had some arm issues, but Banuelos actually he pitched for several different teams. He had a couple of good years there. But yeah, you definitely were the killerest of the Killer Bees that we had. All right, let's talk a little bit about a topic that everybody's been asking about, and that is Juan Soto. So it's a little off topic because it's not necessarily ALCS related. The Yankees are for sure going to make a big offer to Juan Soto, but Steve Cohen, the Mets owner, very, very rich, and seeing that his team has been pretty successful this year, then, if they come up just short, he might think, oh, well, we need one more piece, whatever it costs, Having played for both the Yankees and the Mets, what's it like to, the difference between those two teams? And do you think that Juan Soto ends up back with the Yankees, or do you think he'll take an even bigger offer to go to the Mets?
Well, the Yankees have the leg up, right? They had this whole year for him to see how it is to play in a Yankee Stadium, and probably one of the best places to play in for me, number one, right? But you're like, when you play with the Yankees, you're expected to win every year, right? Like, they're trying to build the best roster they can. Whether or not you win or not, they're trying to put the best product out there. And Soto's feeling the energy all year, had a tremendous year. So Yankees have a leg up there. Obviously, the money at the end of the day is what's going to take to kind of, put the final touches to that. And, I feel like he'll stay with the Yankees, to be honest with you. I think that they'll do the right thing and, put a good amount of money out there for him. And, I don't know if Steve Cohen is going to be like, all right, I'm just going to offer 150 more than you guys, right? I mean, he can definitely do it. It's Steve Cohen. But I will pick the Yankees to sign him. And for me, I enjoy playing with both organizations. For me, I was with the Yankees longer. I grew up a Yankee fan. I was there for 13 years in the organization. So I spent a lot more time there than the Mets. When I came to the Mets, I was hurt for the most part, right? Like, the first year was COVID, so we played a shortened season, no fans. Then the second year when I came back, I got hurt on the road, so I didn't even get to pitch in front of the city. Mets Nation fan. So, but I enjoy my time with both. They had great staff on the Mets as well. Great staff in the Yankees. Unfortunately with the Mets, I was hurt, and that was towards the end of kind of my stint of playing at the highest level, right? So that part was kind of not ideal for me, obviously.
So I asked you this about Judge. How would you work Soto? Because he's so patient, right? He's a guy who'll work the count. He's happy to just take his walk, too. He'll pass the baton. He doesn't care. Part of that is having Aaron Judge hitting behind him, which I think is also a big incentive for him to stay. There's nobody the Mets can put behind Juan Soto that can do what Aaron Judge does, can give him that same level of protection. So how would you work Juan Soto?
Well, I think Lindor is a good guy on the Mets, right, to protect Soto. But how would I work Soto? I pitched against him when he was first couple years. You got to attack him. You got to attack him with your best stuff. Like he has a great eye, right? So he's not going to swing at bad pitches. So you got to try to attack them. And, after that, you can kind of expand. But if you fall behind, you're in trouble with him. So that's the way I see it. You got to go after him right away and try to get ahead.
Yeah. Lindor's good, by the way, but he's no Aaron Judge.
He's definitely not. I'm just saying, Lindor's doing a lot of great things. So, but yeah.
All right, so we're going to run a quick ad, and then we're going to get back with Dellin's series predictions. We're going to talk about who's going to win this series, how long it's going to take. We're going to predict our sleeper picks, our MVP picks. But first, I got to run a quick ad for Huel. It's a breakfast drink, so get your breakfast on. We'll be back in about 60 seconds with Dellin Betances. Mornings are nuts, especially when you're doing a voicemail show like I do. No time for breakfast, but you still need to start your day right. What if a delicious, nutritious meal could be ready in just seconds? Support for Pinstripe Territory is brought to you by Huel, the world's #1 complete nutrition brand, trusted by millions with over 400 million meals sold worldwide. Fuel your day with convenient, complete nutrition. Try it yourself with this exclusive offer, 15% off using the code FOUL at Huel.com. Personally, I love the Huel Ultimate Super Greens Powder. It's packed with 91 vitamins, minerals, and whole food ingredients. Their nutrition bars are great. Savory pouches are amazing too. Give it a try. Unlock a healthier, easier way to eat with Huel's nutritionally complete meals. Focus on what really matters. Again, that's 15% off using the code FOUL at Huel.com. All right, so let's get down to the series predictions. So sleeper pick. Somebody who isn't named Aaron Judge or Juan Soto or Garrett Cole. Who do you think has that it factor that could step up? We've talked a little bit on this channel about how Oswaldo Cabrera seems like he could be one of those guys. Anthony Volpe, we mentioned he got on base a bunch of times in the division series. Wells had some good swings. Nice plays by Verdugo in the outfield. And Big G, obviously, is Big G. So who is your sleeper pick for the ALCS?
I'm gonna say Jazz Chisholm. I have a good feeling he's gonna hit a big home run. And it's gonna be one of those pretty surreal moments for him, and something that the Yankees fan will enjoy. That's my sleeper pick. I also like Rodon. I feel like they need him to have great outings for the team to win. So I'll put those two guys at the forefront.
Man, I love the pick of Jazz Chisholm. I felt like he was just starting to heat up at the end of the season. Remember, he had a couple of home runs, couple of big hits, hit that big home run in Game 2, and then he had that unfortunate comment where he said that the Royals got lucky, and I just felt like that made the Royals pitch.
Unfortunately, I love the comment, baby.
Well, yeah, I hear you. Well,
they backed it up. They backed it up. So let's
go. They backed it up. I feel like he put a little pressure on himself after that to be the guy in KC and silence the crowd. Now that it's reset, I feel like he's just going to come out and just be gangbusters in the ALCS. So I agree with you there. I think that Anthony Volpe, the way he was swinging the bat. He hit some balls very, very hard. He made some good defensive plays. I think he could come up big. You know, we saw who he was for the first about 2 months of the season. And then every time it seemed like he got some rest, like right after the All-Star break. And then right after he got a couple of days off late in the season, I felt like he came out really strong. So I feel like he's more well-rested. And, you know, you know how it is to be 22, 23 years old. He's got all the energy in the world. He's going to be feeding off the crowd. So Volpe is my sleeper pick, in addition to Jackson.
I love it. He had a great DS. You know, he had a great series. Like you said, he had great at-bats. Obviously plays a tremendous defensive at short. So I love Volpe as well.
All right, so let's go ahead. How many games is it going to take? I think we're both going to take the Yankees, right? I mean, we have to. It's a Yankees channel. You're both Yankees fans.
I'm not coming on if I'm not taking the Yankees. I got the Yankees in 6. I got Yankees winning in Game 6.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's right.
Yeah, before the game or before the podcast, I was talking with my my guy, one of my employees, Frankie Baseball, and we both agreed Yankees in 6. They won 4 out of 6 during the regular season. It feels like, you know, they could do that again. Who is your pick for series most valuable player?
Wow, most valuable player. It's hard to not pick playoff G, right?
It is.
I know, it's so hard not to pick him. I'm gonna go. If Gerrit Cole was pitching Game 1, I would have picked Gerrit Cole for sure. I mean, you can still probably pick him. I'm gonna go and say Aaron Judge. I'm gonna pick Aaron Judge. He'll come up big in this series. He'll get on base a lot. I think he'll have a tremendous CS. Yeah,
Judge definitely could break out. Definitely could change this series with a big series. I'm gonna go Juan Soto. I think he's got that it factor, man. He's got that, that flair for the dramatic. How many big home runs did we see him hit this year? I mean, you know, you think about that one he hit, you know, down the line at Yankee Stadium, big 3-run shot early in the season to give the Yankees a lead. He had that big game in San Francisco, and he was getting on base and he was getting hits in the division series, but he didn't demonstrate the power yet, but we know it's there. You know, 41 home runs this year. So I think it's coming, and I think
baby, they're coming. Let's go.
Look, I think it's actually lining up kind of perfectly if you think about it, because if you just go by the odds, right? How many times this year did Judge and Soto go homerless for, like, you know, a bunch of games in a row, or both, you know, not do much damage? They're due. Like, I believe in due. Do you believe in due?
And they won 3 out of 4, right? Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? For you to do that, win 3 out of 4, and those guys go homerless, I mean, you'll take that. You'll sign up for that anytime. So,
all right. So, Dellin Betances, thank you so much. Awesome to have you on the show. And let's get you back on this winter after the parade. What do you say?
Oh, I love that. I love the way that sounds, man. I'm hoping for a great series. I'll be at all the games for the most part at home, so I'm definitely excited.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Dellin. Thanks to everybody who's watching. Please like and subscribe. We're here after every single game. We'll be here after every single playoff game. Get your voicemails in, 718-899-1068, and we will go over your picks. By the way, we didn't mention Jason Dominguez. I still think that he was my pick last year when he came up and he got hurt. I said, you know, if he's back next year, he's going to be the series MVP. But because he's hurt, we can't pick him. Or because he's not playing, really, we can't pick him. But, you know, he if he gets in a game, you know, I still think he could be one of those sleeper picks because he's got that slow heartbeat. I feel like he could be
he does. I just feel like he's not going to play much, to be honest with you. I agree with you. Verdugo back there defensively, he's done a great job, and I see him playing all the time. So
yeah. So, but maybe next year. All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
All right.
If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and give us a subscribe. It helps other Yankees fans find the channel. We're also on all your favorite podcast platforms and social media. Join the community. Have some fun. We're here after every game. This is Pinstripe Territory.